Fuck Tails, I guess. Which, understandable that people just auto-hate every reference Ian could possibly make. This is definitively among the worst Ian has ever done. The only reason it's happening is because of the character they chose, not because it's an organic moment that makes sense to be happening. Tails actually just lies to Cyborg here, and nobody else comments on this fact. Ian Flynn is also just not a good writer. What can I say? If you just want to write some lowbrow, smooth-brain fan service bullshit.
Eggman Empire. Authorization approved. Access granted.
What is happening, mother lovers? My name is KotyTang. DC fans, you gotta help me a bit on this one. I hate the comic industry standards, and I fucking hate how comics are written, alright? I was conned into reading Sonic's IDW comics by Sonic Team. I pretty much only know a lot about Batman to start, since Gotham is the only interesting setting that DC has to offer, so bear with me. I'm watching as many lore videos on these comics for every character in this as I can, and I'm reading through the DC wiki for the finer details. So I do have enough knowledge to work with, but I'm gonna need some inner assistance if I got a question. Alright, let's do this, hoes. Issue 1. The world is in turmoil. Sonic, Tails, and Amy, while enjoying a picnic in Never Lake, look up to see a giant demonic head suddenly summoned from the sky. Winged armored monsters descend, forcing the three to fight back, but once it's clear that there's no end in sight, Sonic gets the gang out of there. Tails and Amy note that there's likely more portals elsewhere, and in Knuckles' case, that is absolutely true. We see him fighting off more hordes as Darkseid and Desaad discuss how to proceed above Angel Island. With one powerful beam, the Master Emerald is shattered, sending Angel Island to the sea. Master Emerald shattered, as you do, and Angel Island is out of the sky. Check and check. Sonic and the rest arrive at Sunset City, where Sonic... Fuck Tails, I guess. Sonic tosses his friends to the side to run on his own and speed up, allowing Sonic to meet the Flash. The Flash briefly mistakes Sonic for Crackle. The Flash and Sonic engage in a bit of speedster banter. Very cute of Sonic and the Flash. And while they're doing that, just above, Silver and the Green Lantern are battling more demons, so they meet. Shadow and Batman assist a woman and her child, so they meet. Then Tails and Amy are conveniently alone together now, thanks to Sonic being a dickhead earlier, allowing them to conveniently meet Wonder Woman and Cyborg, because everything is just one big coincidence. Oh, and let me in, DC riffraff. Booyah. Y'all just let him keep saying this after Teen Titans? After much more fighting, Knuckles is seen to have teamed up with Superman, and now we get a moment of rest. Shadow asks for introductions and what's going on, and a ton of exposition happens where we learn about the Chaos Emeralds, who each character is, how the Justice League got here, the parademons they've been fighting, and about Darkseid's new world-hopping Ragnarok, which is revealed to be the name of that giant head that's been terrorizing Sonic's Earth. Shadow decides that the crew is standing around for too long, and Superman's idea to create a plan doesn't interest him, so he goes off to deal with things by himself. To which Batman tells Superman that he'll handle him. Where Batman, off absolutely zero indication or information, just correctly assumes that Shadow failed to protect somebody. What an insane read by Batman. So after that, Shadow comes back with Batman and goes back behind Sonic and his friends? Alright. The gang now discusses how to stop Darkseid from getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds, where Tails and Cyborg bond on computer tech nerd shit. Interestingly enough, Sonic says that they don't have time to just wait around while they make that, but Batman doesn't mention how Sonic failed to protect somebody. I guess because he's too happy looking and blue to be able to guess what Sonic's been through. A bit racist. Wonder Woman agrees with Sonic, so while Cyborg and Tails work on creating an emerald detector, Sonic and the rest will all go around looking for the Chaos Emeralds. So now we continue with more exposition for the heroes in a sort of now they're friends montage, with random car and motorcycle panels. You know, fan service for fan service. Cyborg and Tails upgrade the computer to make 3D holograms, I guess, and we continue with more exposition of these characters. Sonic and the Flash have a completely normal conversation, then Ian Flynn hits you like a damn semi-truck with this line by Sonic.
What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventure.
I hate this fan base for gassing up this nigga's writing so much, bro. Sonic takes the Flash to South Island where Green Hill is, and we just casually run right into none other than Darkseid, ending the issue. Oh, come on, bro! This is definitively among the worst Ian has ever done in terms of references. What the fuck did he just make Darkseid say?
It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power.
This quote screams, I'm writing a crossover comic where the characters are currently in the opposite world. Time to make these characters not from this world, quote things from this world because fans of these things are stupid, easy to please key jinglers.
Oh, dingle, dangle, dingle, dingle, jingle, jangle. It's okay. Look at the shiny.
Ian Flynn comes from comic book culture, so I assume these dog shit references is a thing that just happens all the time in comics. Ian Flynn is also just not a good writer, what can I say? If Ian is the norm for comic book writers, then all of your favorites probably f***ing suck too. And I'm sure Ian will prove yet again that he's not a good writer by the end of this crossover's run, but maybe he'll prove me wrong, you know? I'm experiencing how far Ian's come as a writer for the first time. I'm only on issue 50 for the Sonic IDW comics. It's a bit surreal for me to be reading something he's done today. I guess the games count, but then in that case, I would continue to say, yeah, he's a really bad writer still. What I will say is that a lot of people were upset over this Little Planet reference, which understandable that people just auto-hate every reference Ian could possibly make, but I'd like to say that this one is valid and makes sense. The crew are literally at Neverlake. Something that's huge in the shape of a planet is summoned above the lake, and Amy is like, that's not Little Planet. That's exactly how you do a reference, people. Everything linking it to that reference is there. It's properly set up, making it a rare case where a reference makes sense. We have to call out Ian on the correct things, not just anything. By doing that, you just look crazy. The Little Planet reference actually works. Whoa, hold on. I think something's up. You guys hear that? Be sure to leave a like if you've been enjoying this video, leave a comment down below for your thoughts on the crossover so far, and subscribe to the channel for more Sonic content. This is not a comic book or a DC channel, but glad to have you here. Now back to the video. Just for clarification, Tails has made multiple emerald detectors in the past, so him needing Cyborg for this isn't actually true, nor is the fact that he's working on a beta for it, and we should already know where the emeralds are. We don't need a fresh new quantum mechanical algorithm to do this. Tails actually just lies to Cyborg here, and nobody else comments on this fact. So, does this take place in IDW's established canon, or are we just popping around to random places like the games do? We started at Neverlake, then we quickly arrived at Sunset City, even Knuckles randomly appears in Sunset City after leaving Angel Island, and then we pop all the way over to South Island. What the hell is the time frame between all of these places? Maybe we can get away with it for the Flash and Sonic, but Sonic can't go full speed like that when he's carrying Amy and Tails. That's why he just tosses them to the side, making Tails faceplant. Knuckles also can't just magically run from Angel Island all the way to Sunset City in a matter of minutes. I mean, maybe Superman flew him over there, I guess. I don't know what else you want me to say. I wonder how the rest of the world is doing thanks to Darkseid's reign here. Speaking of things randomly popping into frame, what's with Shadow and Amy suddenly having their vehicles like that? They just pulled them out of their Mary Poppins garages, I guess? It's possible that Amy drove to Neverlake with her car for the picnic, but she don't got that no more if they ran to Sunset City. It's weird that Sonic, Amy, and Tails were even having a picnic at all, might I add. Taking some notes from Sonic Prime there, I see. Amy also has a car that transforms into a flying mobile on hand, purely just so that she can comment on the fact that Wonder Woman can fly, and so that Wonder Woman can say that she likes to pilot her invisible jet. Even further, like, does Batman also have a Mary Poppins garage that he could just pull out of his pocket too? Or are we saying that he teleported into Sonic's world riding on his bat cycle? I don't like that every single hero meets their exact advertised counterpart. It's yet another thing that I don't like about comics. There's a shit ton of moments that are purely just glorified fan service, and it's so in your face that it's hard to ignore. Realistically, these characters would not meet their similar counterparts immediately. It just wouldn't be very likely to happen. Maybe one or two of them do, but it would feel much more organic if, say, Silver met Superman and fought with him, and Shadow met Wonder Woman and fought with her. just to mix the characters up so that the writing doesn't feel excessively forced. They can then find that they like their counterparts and gain an actual relationship in an organic way as the story goes on. Comic book fan service is just gross to me. When it gets to this level, it makes me feel like the writers are trying to rip off my pants and jerk me off, but I'm just not feeling it, so I'm being sexually assaulted instead. Alright, Batman fans, I need y'all to level with me here and be honest. Can Batman just look at any nigga minding his own business from across the room, eating like a burger, and psychoanalyze a person's exact problem without even knowing the guy? The guy ain't even eating the burger in a sad way. He has regular clothes on, right? He's just relaxing at Gotham King. Can Batman just look into that man's soul and be like, oh yeah, that nigga got problems? This moment with Shadow just comes off as one of the biggest ass pulls of Batman's career. To just accurately guess that Shadow failed to protect somebody. Shadow has given him absolutely no indication that he even has a problem. This scene needs to be pushed up and should not be happening upon their first meeting. Ain't no way Shadow telling everybody he wants to stop wasting time means he's lost somebody close to him. I can understand Batman relating when he can visibly see somebody is hurting or in pain. I need you all to throw examples at me similar to Shadow's. I doubt Batman can do this. And if he can, what the f is that? I get that Shadow and him have similarities, but this is a crazy ass read. Shadow specifically is the person who asked for more information and for introductions. Once they started wasting time meeting everybody and Shadow didn't want to sit around and come up with a plan, Batman decides that means Shadow lost somebody? I like to use other characters for my examples because it really hammers in how something isn't thought out at all. This scene is interesting because in cases in the past, when it came to the Master Emerald, Knuckles would be perfectly fine with just busting into things and being annoyed that people are standing around and not getting the Master Emerald, so he would like to act on his own, and he has done that. So, if Knuckles was written to be upset his Emerald was gone, and he was like, screw this guys, we gotta get going, causing Knuckles to go storm off, do you think that, Batman would try the same thing with Knuckles? I don't think he would do that. That's the type of writing I'm talking about. The only reason it's happening is because of the character they chose, not because it's an organic moment that makes sense to be happening. I don't find it to be very in character for Shadow to just expose this much detail about himself to some guy he just met anyway. Like I said, this scene needs to be pushed up and it's happening way too fast. It's very worrying for how these relationships are gonna develop going forward if a major defining point of Shadow was just thrown in so carelessly, especially this early. Shadow is not one to talk to others about his past or even himself. Even Batman explaining that his parents died wouldn't have worked on him. Realistically, this random trauma dump by Batman would have gone more like this. I don't want to stand around and make plans. I want to take action. Ah, I see. So you failed to protect someone you love. What? My parents. They were murdered in front of me. Are you f***ing okay, dude? Anyway, that's not all that I had a problem with. Let me fix this scene for you real quick, Ian. When Tails cuts in and gives this heavy-handed exposition, you then go on to use the exact heavy-handed exposition that Sega used in Sonic Adventure 2 as Darkseid's dialogue. So in the same issue that you give this heavy-handed exposition, you also use Shiro Miyakawa's exposition. You now have two exposition points about the same topic in one issue. Look, I get it. You're Ian Flynn, so you're reference-brained and don't know how to write your own material without them. So I understand why you wouldn't have thought about how this actually flows, but Tails didn't need to say this if Darkseid was gonna say this, and vice versa. These are both heavy-handed exposition points. And the Darkseid one is accidental exposition because that's how you write. One of these lines has gotta go. Just for an example, I'll point you to a decent bit of exposition. When Knuckles explains that the Master Emerald was destroyed and thus dropping Angel Island, Amy specifically would just need Knuckles to say that the invaders blew up the Master Emerald. You should be considering what your characters would already know. It's not like Superman asked this question, unless Knuckles just thinks Amy is just really f***ing stupid, which, I mean, okay, that's fair. I'm aware the comic book industry thinks everybody reading their comics is really stupid, so that's why they give these unnecessary exposition and info dumps. That's just another thing to dislike about comics. Either way, Knuckles explaining how Angel Island fell still serves as a quick, less clunky explanation than Tails just popping in and explaining in detail what the Chaos Emeralds do. I will say it's on brand for Sonic though, because they also tend to over-explain what the Chaos Emeralds do in many of the games. The comic is a decent start. We quickly introduced everything, in many cases, way too quickly. It's supposed to only be 5 issues, so of course this is going to go by insanely fast, and the writing is going to have to keep up with it. Which of course is going to result in the writing feeling very unnatural, very heavy-handed, and very clunky. Fan service is cool, but fan service will never be enough for me to enjoy something. Especially in a case like this, where you have the opportunity to do a fan service fueled storyline. It should be done correctly and in a well thought out way. You, in most cases, have one shot for an opportunity like this. So to spend the entire first issue trying to jerk off fans of each series, you're gonna end up with a really shitty, lackluster story. Like I said, decent start, it's just the introductory issue, but it's 5 issues and you spent the entirety of the first issue introducing everybody. Absolutely nothing has popped off yet. You've got 4 issues left to make a good story. My expectations are already horrendously low. I'm expecting a massive cash grab attempt and a very weak storyline that auto-completes everything. Similar to how everybody immediately met each other and automatically became best friends. Not surprising considering who's writing this comic. Ian Flynn is the perfect guy to get if you just want to write some lowbrow, smooth-brain fan service bullshit. It's just about all he's gonna be known for at this point if he keeps this up. Anytime Ian Flynn's name is slapped onto something, you know it's gonna be filled with tacky references and massive blunders in writing. Love you, buddy. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join the Eggman Empire Discord, okay, bye!